Imagine being ordered by a judge to make one simple monthly payment to avoid jail, and then deciding to ignore the exact terms of that order. That's exactly what unfolds in this probation review hearing. The defendant still owes nearly $500,000 in restitution after a devastating case that left victims describing the loss of their home, the death of their dog, and emotional trauma that has lasted for years. Today's hearing isn't about determining guilt that has already been decided. Instead, it's about one critical question: did the defendant obey the court's direct order? As you'll hear, the judge isn't interested in excuses or partial compliance. Every dollar, every payment date, and every missed obligation matters. Pay close attention to how the judge repeatedly emphasizes one specific phrase because it becomes the defining issue of this entire hearing. And as you watch, ask yourself this: if someone follows only part of a court order, should that still count as violating it? The answer may surprise you.
2026, the court did issue some directives and orders to Mr. Shaddis as it relates to payment of restitution, etc. There remains outstanding restitution, at least of this court's knowledge to date, $481,308.72. The court did order that Mr. Shaddis make payments, I believe, of at least $500 per month since the last hearing. Ms. Annabus, please update the court.
Mr. Shaddis at this time has brought his amount down to $479,031.05. I have not received an updated budget worksheet. I was informed that there has been no changes. I did request him to fill one out. I did not receive one. He has made a payment in May, June, and July at a rate of $254. His agent was informed that that is not the minimum requirement. And on 7/6, there's a payment pending of $1,515.67. That is all the information I have for him.
All right. Mr. Shaddis, why did you only make $250 a month payments? The court ordered you and directed you to make $500 a month and did tell you that if you do not, you will go to jail. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Why did you only make $250 a month?
From my knowledge, that's all we could make.
This is the turning point of the hearing. Notice that the defendant doesn't argue that payments weren't made. He argues that, from his perspective, the smaller payments were all he could manage. But legally, that's not the question before the court. The issue is whether the defendant complied with the judge's specific order, and court orders aren't suggestions or flexible guidelines. If someone genuinely cannot meet the payment requirement, the proper legal approach is usually to return to court and request a modification, not to unilaterally decide to pay less. That's why the judge immediately redirects the conversation back to the original order instead of discussing personal interpretations. What do you think? Should financial hardship excuse missing a court-ordered payment, or should the defendant have formally asked the court for relief before changing the payment amount on his own?
Accounted for, but that's what you were ordered to pay. And now, April 13th, the court ordered $500 a month, and you've not paid that. So is the $1,015 supposed to bring it current, Ms. Annabus?
I believe so, yes. That was just paid on the 6th, so last Monday.
So 6th on the last Monday. So a total of $1,765 and some odd cents has been paid to date. I can't recall if I ordered the first payment to be in April or not, or if it was May. You recall, Ms. Annabus?
I believe it was the following month.
So it could be May, June, and July. So, Mr. Shaddis, it appears from the payment that's been made on Monday, it was to save your butt from jail because it caught you up on all of those months at $500. But I'm going to tell you that's not what the court ordered, and I'm ordering again $500 a month. And this starts in August because you're up to date May, June, July, at minimum $500 a month, not $250 one month and $250 next month and $250 other month, and then $1,000 the other or right before the court. That's not going to cut it. $500 a month. I don't care if you're current and you've paid all of the money total, what you should have paid in all those months, $500 per month. That's the order, or jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So $500 a month. I'm finding you in contempt of the court's order and directive. Even still, you caught up, but that's not the court order. You're still in violation. So I'm going to order from here on out, starting in August, the $500 a month.
Even though the defendant eventually caught up on the total amount due, listen carefully to what the judge is explaining here. This hearing demonstrates an important principle of probation supervision. Timing matters just as much as the total amount paid. The court wanted consistent monthly payments, not last-minute payments made just before appearing before the judge. That's why the judge still finds the defendant in contempt despite the balance being brought current. The court's concern isn't only collecting money, it's measuring whether the defendant is willing to consistently follow lawful orders. By scheduling another review several months later, the judge is creating a clear opportunity to prove future compliance while also making it equally clear that another violation will have immediate consequences. The expectations couldn't be more straightforward from this point forward.
So I'm going to give you a few months to show me that you're going to do that. So you'll have August, September, and October to make your payments. I'm going to order that we have another hearing in person, 1 o'clock on November 3rd. 1 o'clock on November 3rd, okay? Do you understand the court's orders today?
Yeah.
And you understand what happens if you don't abide by the court's orders? And what is the court's order?
$500. Starting in August, September.
A month.
Yes, a month.
All right. What if you pay $499.99?
I know, not gonna cut it.
Not going to cut it. All right. So you do understand, you can comprehend, and so that is the court's order. So I will see you on November 3rd unless there's anything else that you want to discuss.
Nothing further.
This hearing ultimately wasn't about reducing restitution or reopening the original case, it was about accountability. The judge concluded that the defendant violated the court's previous order because the required monthly payments were not made as directed, even though the overdue balance was eventually paid before the hearing. As a result, the court found the defendant in contempt, reaffirmed the requirement of $500 every month, warned that anything less could result in 20 days in jail, and scheduled another compliance review to ensure the order is followed moving forward. The message from the bench was clear: complete compliance means following both the amount and the schedule ordered by the court. If you found this courtroom breakdown informative, leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the judge made the right decision? Don't forget to like, share this video with others interested in real courtroom cases, and subscribe for more in-depth courtroom breakdowns and legal commentary.